Hello, good afternoon. This is Mrs.Z. Today we are going to talk about what to do if we have area model shown like this, and how you can figure it out what kind of operation is this model represents. So the first one is the first thing you need to know, these are three areas, but all together is a representation of operation. It could be multiplication or it could be division, depend where the numbers are shown. So right here we have the this length, which represents 8, and then we have also the numbers that are written on the top of the boxes, which are also part of the other factor. So when the numbers are outside of the box, operation is multiplication. So like if you put little x right here, you can see 8 times 50, then 8 times 20, then 8 times 3 will give you this multiplication problem. When you look in between these numbers, you can see that 50 plus 20 plus 3 would represent 8 times what this number is. So now on the side, you can add, if you 50 and 20, it doesn't matter what numbers are, you always use the same procedure, because sometimes it could be thousands or hundreds um, or tens or ones. So that is a 73. So right now you know that this will be 8 times 73, but the 73 is decomposed into 50 and 20 and 3. Okay, so our problem is 8 times 53, 50, oh, 75, 3, sorry. I want to say 73, 73. I saw 50 down and I start thinking about 73 um, equals question mark. So we don't know what that is. So operation is multiplication. Now, how to solve it? Also, we can use commutative property. This could be 73 times 8. It's the same thing. We can switch numbers around, but the total or product of our multiplication will be the same. Now, let's just focus on this area right here. Length times width, or length times width. 8 times 50. This you can think about 8 times 5, which is 40, and then 50 is 5 times 10. So 8 times 5 is 40, but times 10 it's 400. Because when you multiply by numbers with the 10, with the 0, the number gains that 0. Um, by multiplying, it gets 10 times greater. So that this area is 400. Okay, now because this line is 8, so is this one here. So now we are focusing on that area. So now thinking about this little tiny 8, 8 times 20, you can think 8 times 2 is 16, and then 8 times and times 10 is 160. Or if you skip count by 20, you get 8 20s, it's 160. The last area is also 8 times 3. So 3 8s, you can add 3 8s, or you can say 3 times 8 is 24. Now you know what the answer is. The answer is, if you add this number inside, that will be your answer for multiplication. So what you need to do is put first the greatest number first. You can, to make a precision, you can put the lines And then you can say I have 106 tens and 0 ones, and then I have also 24. You can underline and add. So 0, you're allowed to put 0 here if you want to, because 24 doesn't have any hundreds. So 4, 6 plus 2 is 8, 4 plus 1 is 5. So your product is 584. So 73 times 8 is 584. And this was a multiplication problem. That was multiplication problem. Now, we're going to do the same thing, but now when you look this, how this was different from this. Remember, here you had already these numbers, 50, 20, and 3 were there. And we didn't have a number in the middle. Sometimes they put just a line underneath, so you have to fill in, or here also, or they will then you need to provide those numbers. Sometimes they will give you the different numbers in the boxes on top, if it electronically, so you can drag those numbers to the correct spot. Okay, so when we look this, if our problem is going to be division. So right now, when we look the problem, this is our divisor is 8, and our dividend is right here. This plus this plus this. That's our dividend. But we needed to add those together in order to find what is our dividend divided into this divisor of 8. So the best thing is put 400 plus 160 plus 24. And if you like, you can do the, and you're going to add, I'm going to put 0 again. It's the same thing, but 8. And so the greatest number is 584, and because this model showed division, it will be 584 divided into 8 parts equals what? We don't know what the answer is. So that means these numbers on the top that we need to fill in will be our answer for division. So quotient, we call quotient for answer. I'm going to rewrite our problem back there. Divide into 8 equals. So now we could have some strategies of how to solve it. Because when you think now, 8 times what equals 4, it doesn't make sense, correct? So instead of 4, I can think about this to be 40. So I can use this to be 40, but what? Tens. If I have one extra 0, that means this is 40 tenths, because 40 times 10 is 400. So I can think that this is a 40 tenths. So I'm thinking what times 8 equals 40. And multiplication factor says there is 5 eighths in a 40, because 5 times 8 is 40. But this is not 40, this is 400. So I have to add 0. So now when I have 40 times 10 is going to give me the 400. So that's why your factor here is going to be 50. Now, plus, now we have this 160, and we can also use the same strategy. If this is 16 tenths, 8 times what equals 16, and you know 8 plus 8 is 16, double 8 is 16, so that's 2, but this is not only 16, it is 160. So we can add a 0 because 2 times 6 is 16. 2 times 8 is 16, times 10 is 160. Or 20 times 8 is 160. So we found another part of this solution. Now, the last would be 8 times what equals 24. And if you don't know multiplication facts, it's so simple. You can just add 8 is 1, 8. If you add one more, that would be 2 groups of 8. That's a 16. And then if you add one more, that is 3. And then 8 plus 6 is 14. Remember 110, that is 24. So how many 8s are in 24? They are 1, 2, 3 8s. 3 times 8 is 24. So you have no excuse to not to know multiplication facts because you can work it out. 3 times 8 is 24, and then we got ourselves our answer. So the answer for division is when we add the top numbers here. So what that means is that 50 plus 20 plus 3, of course, is 73. So we have our solution for our problem. So our problem was division problem. So this is how you do for this is for 4th grade number base 10 objective 5 and also for NBT objective 6. Objective 6 is division, objective 5 is multiplication. So but I want to cement your knowledge. So I'm going to move to the next problem that I had already prepared for you. So these are now two another. So when we see this, what operation is represented by the area model shown. We know if we see numbers outside, it represents what? Multiplication. If we see numbers inside, then it represents division. Okay, so now we need to think what would be 6 times 7, and we needed to fill out the numbers inside. So 6 times 700. When we think about 6 times 7, we know that is 42. And then 6 times 7 is 42, but this is 100, represents 100. So you can multiply by 100 and you gain here 2 zeros, which is 4,200. Okay, so now you know first area. This area would be also 6 is 6. 6 times 30. So when you do 6 times 36 times 3 is 18, times 10 is 180, or 6 times 30 is 180. The last part is 6 times 2, which is 12. So now you know your problem was multiplication. It was this 700 plus 30 plus 2 makes 732. So problem was 6 times 732. We did not know what it is. So this was multiplication. And now we know if we switch around, I can do 732 times 6. We will find solution, and solution is the numbers that you come up. So it is 4,200. And I'm going to draw a line through to make precision. So because even one little number, one digit can mess up your answer, and then you will have a wrong solution. So better be limpio, or clean, or make Nice and clean work. Okay, now I'm going to add those together. So 2, 9, 300, and 4,000. So 732 times 6, or 6 times 732, is equals 4,392. Okay. And this was a multiplication problem. Okay. Now, when we look this one, the numbers are missing on the top, but we have a large numbers inside. So what that means is that this is division. So first step is to add these numbers. 4,200 plus 180 plus 12 will give us 2 ones, 9 tens, 300, and 4,000. 4,392. Because the model looks like this, I know that this number is my dividend, and then this is divisor. So I'm going to put first 4,392 divide. You can, sometimes I do this division sign, so I know then this will be divide by, so divide by 6 equals question mark. So now you can say, oh, now I know 4,392 divide by 6 is going to be what? Now we need to solve it. So 6 times, so now what number you multiply and you get this 4,200? It's the same like we did before. We can think about what if we think this to be 4,200s? So we know, if we know multiplication facts, we know 6 times 7 is 42. But if we don't know, guys, the solution is, let's do how many 6 are in 42. So you can add 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 till you reach that there are 7 6 in 42. 6 times 7 is 42, but this represents the 100. So this is really 6 times 700 is 4,200. Okay, because we have a here 100. So we did that, and we got ours one of part of a quotient. So now we need another one. We can think about 6 and what? 18, because this represents a 10. So 6 times what equals 18, and there is 3 6 in 18, but this is also times 10. So 6 times 30 will give me 180. And we got another part of the solution. So we can put plus there. And the last but not least, 6 times what makes 12. So 6 times 2 equals 12. So here is your solution on the for division problem. And this is a quotient. Quotient is 732. 732. It's important that you can see that this is a fact family, so the division is connected with multiplication if these two were the same number. So there is 732 times 6 is 4,392. So 4,392 divided into 6 groups will give you 732 as answer quotient. So that was that when we were working on the 4th grade. Okay, hold on. I think it's too. Now I'm going to make it a little bit bigger so you can see it all. Oh, not yet. All right. So that was the First problem, um, multiplication division, multiplication division. Okay, we're gonna do one more. Actually, we'll leave this. There is also for the next lesson, I prepare fifth grade, which will be something like that, where you have your divisor to be two-digit numbers. So we will leave that for the next lesson. All right, guys. Thank you for listening, Mrs. Z. I hope this was helpful. So see you next time.